Hello, Peter. What's happening? I'm gonna need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. So if you could be here around 9, that would be great. Okay? Oh, and I almost forgot. I'm also gonna need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday, too.
Oh, you can read that guy's mind, can't you? How many of us have experienced a boss who just doesn't see things the way that we do? Well, sadly, it can be a common occurrence, but it doesn't really have to be. Here to share tips on what it takes to bring heart-centered leadership to the workplace is author and leadership consultant Susan Steinbrecher. Hi, thanks for being with us.
Excited to be with you guys. Thank you.
So what is heart-centered leadership?
It's about leading from the heart. It's not leading just from the head, but also from the heart. And it's really recognizing that if you have tapped in, tuned in, turned on, highly engaged, emotionally connected employees, they want to work for you versus have to work for you.
Absolutely.
Which is very different, you know?
Emotionally connected, explain what you mean by that, because like I don't know that a lot of people really need to be, want to be emotionally connected to their bosses or bosses to their employees. But you say that's a really important element.
I do think it is, because I think otherwise you don't really get compliance and not commitment. And to me, there's a very different thing between compliance and commitment, right? So it's like, if I love this boss, if I love working for this person, I'll do everything I can for that individual, and that just motivates them to work at their very best for that individual. And if you're a leader, what more can you ask for than an employee that is so motivated, that doesn't want to let you down, that actually wants to excel for you and on behalf of the organization? Can't ask for much more than that when you think about it.
So now, is this something, I'm sorry, Dawn, is this book for the actual people that are in charge, the bosses, or is this for both the employer and the leader?
Well, actually, it was written from, you know, for the perspective of the leader. It's like, how can you be that heart-centered leader? How can you get that highly engaged, emotionally connected, highly motivated employee? It's really what it's for. But I will tell you, people have asked me, well, I don't actually lead people. Does this book for me? And I'll say, well, yes, because you're a leader of self. You're a leader in your home. You're sometimes a leader in your community. So leadership is leadership, right? No matter. But yeah, it was written under the context of a business environment.
What are leaders
can I ask this
doing
wrong?
Yeah.
Is this an easier concept? I'm going to totally get stereotypical here, for women to grasp.
It's funny you say that, because people ask me that all the time. And I think at one time, I mean, when Dr. Bennett and I first wrote this book, actually it was a decade ago. And people said, you are way ahead of your time. This is too warm and fuzzy for people, and this is just for women, right? And I'm like, absolutely not. And in fact, it's interesting how more and more men have really lined up, because they've recognized that I have to have highly motivated employees who want to perform, or I'm never going to get my business objectives accomplished. And they're absolutely right.
So what are bosses doing wrong? Because, you know, you've got that boss that really, he's worried about the bottom line, especially if it's a business owner and they're really invested. So they're looking at the bottom line. They don't have time for, like, okay, let's all do a cheer and let's go on a weekend to get away, all of us together. To, you know, what do they do?
It is a daunting task, no question. Leadership used to be a lot simpler, but in today's complex environment, I mean, you're looking at a situation where employees are so much more democratically oriented, right? They vote with their feet every day, right? They will speak their mind more than ever before. But you're also dealing with 24/7 work environments, global societies. I mean, there's so much complexity that in order for the leader to actually pull it off and actually have that highly profitable organization, you're going to need to have people working with you to accomplish that vision, and you're not going to be able to do that alone.
So can you tell me, because what you just said that was really interesting, and you said it's not just for on the job, it's for those in the community that are leading, maybe at home. Can you give us 3 tips maybe that are in the book that can help those who want to lead? Because for me, I am the host of a morning show, and I have people who work with me, so to a certain extent I feel like I have to lead them. So can you give me 3 tips?
Absolutely. One of the first, there's 7 principles that we outline in this book, and the first one is called Know Thyself. The reason it's called Know Thyself, and we start with that principle, is that, you know, you got to look in the mirror. I mean, the truth is, this is really hard. I know, this is really, really hard. Although all of you are beautiful, so don't worry about that. You know, really.
You don't mean physical.
Really, I mean, really, look in the mirror and have the courage, because it takes tremendous courage to do that, and really own up to how you're showing up. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and taking personal responsibility and accountability for that. And so once you have a chance to do that, and you really have a willingness to do that, because again, it takes a lot of courage, then you're really on your path to saying, okay, I have to be responsible for the fact the way I treated that person today, that wasn't right. But normally it's recoverable. I mean, you can go back to the person and say, you know what? I overstepped, and I'm really sorry. That goes a long way with an employee when someone, when the boss at least acknowledges.
And takes accountability for their,
So that's one of the principles. Another principle that we have is don't judge or don't assume, instead come to understand. Okay, the purpose of that, of course, is we really get ourselves caught in judgment every day. We're a very judgmental society. And the truth is, most people don't jump out of bed in the morning with the intention to disappoint. I mean, that is not what we do. That doesn't mean they don't disappoint at times, but that's not their intention.
Exactly.
So that means I need to be inquisitive and try to figure out, why is this person performing the way they are? And asking the question why brings you on a path of now creating a solution. Another principle is called letting go. And this one's really hard. Because this is really saying, quit trying to control everything, because you're not going to control it anyway. I know, it's very difficult, but when you think about it, the more you try to do that, the less control you typically have. So this is about letting go and trusting and empowering other folks.
Susan, thank you so much for being
welcome.
here. I appreciate it. The book, again, is Heart-Centered Leadership, and Lead Well, Live Well is the bottom. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. You can get more details at her website, which you'll find at thebroadcasttv.com. Just click on today's links. Most folks can cook a decent burger, but do you know what it takes to make a great burger? We have a few tips to step up your grilling game. That's up next.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.